If you are a first-time home buyer or if you're considering purchasing a newly built home, a brand new home, and you need some info, you are in the right place. Today, I've got some important updates to discuss regarding the property transfer tax, or as we call it, the PTT. There's changes that are rolling out starting April 1st of 2024. I'm Lisa Salt with Remax Vernon Salt Fowler, so let's dive into those changes right now. Starting April 1st, which by the time you see this video will have come and gone, but that is today for me, the government made some significant adjustments to the PTT, that property transfer tax, which is especially beneficial for first-time homebuyers and those looking at newly built homes to buy. The whole idea behind these changes is they're designed to make home ownership more accessible to more people and to curb property flipping. So let's break down what these changes mean for you. First up, if you're just entering the market for the very first time, there is excellent news for you. For any property purchase under $835,000, the first $500,000 of your purchase price will be property transfer tax free. That is right, no property transfer tax on the first $500,000. For the remaining amount, up to $835,000, property transfer tax will unfortunately apply. Now, prior to April 1st, today's date, again for me, the property value had to be less than $500,000 for the exemption to apply at all. So that was starting to get pretty much impossible around here. So finally, the government has quasi caught up with the market. It's something anyways. And you know what, I should back up. How much are you saving? So in British Columbia, you pay a tax every time you purchase a property. And the amount is 1% of the fair market value up to and including $200,000, 2% of the fair market value greater than $200,000 and up to and including $2 million, and then 3% of the fair market value greater than $2 million. If the property has residential property worth over $3 million, you have to pay a further 2% tax. That'll be applied to the residential property value greater than $3 million. So that's a quick overview. There are some exemptions, etc., and I will put a link below for all of that. Now, if your dream home's purchase price is a bit higher, let's say it's between $835,000 and $860,000, don't worry, you're still qualify for a partial exemption. It's a bit complex, so I'm not going to go into it here, but fear not, we're here to help you navigate these waters as more information becomes available. If you have any questions, let us know. Let's look at how to qualify for an exemption. So at the time the property is registered, you must be a Canadian citizen or permanent resident. You must have either lived in BC for at least a year immediately before the date you register the property and filed at least 2 income tax returns as a BC resident in the last 6 taxation years immediately before the registration date. You can have never owned a registered interest in a property that was your principal residence anywhere in the world at any time, and you can have never received a first-time homebuyer's exemption or refund in the past. And as far as the property goes, the property can only be used as your principal residence, so it can't be for an investment property. Has to have a fair market value of $835,000 or less as of April 1st, 2024. Be 0.5 hectare, 1.24 acres or smaller, and contain only residential improvements. Now, if all the above requirements are met, then the purchaser will be exempt from the property transfer tax on the first $500,000 of the purchase price of the property. So that's a nice break for you as a first-time home buyers. Now, what's the other change? The other change is for those eyeing a newly built home. There's some more exciting news for you guys. The full exemption on the property transfer tax for new homes has been raised significantly. It was previously capped at $750,000. The fair market value for a full exception now is $1.1 million. So much better. And if your new home is priced a little over this threshold, up to $1.15 million, you also won't be left out. You can still catch a partial exemption, which phases out gradually. Anyways, again, it's a little bit complicated. So that's a much needed boost for buyers looking at newly constructed properties. I mean, it was ridiculous before. The market's way too high for that. So it's making it easier to step into your brand new home. Now, do you qualify? So to qualify, the property, land, and improvements transfer must be registered at the Land Titles Office after February 16, 2016. And this must be the first registration of this property with a completed improvement, and you must be a Canadian citizen or permanent resident. You will be asked to provide your social insurance number or proof of permanent residence and your birthday. And the property must be located in BC, only be used as your principal residence once again, have a fair market value of 1.1 million or less, and 750,000 if the title is registered before April 1st, 2024. Has to be 0.5 hectares, 1.2 acres or smaller, again. And you may qualify for that partial exemption if the property has a fair market value greater than 1.1 and less than 1.15, is larger than 0.5 acres, or has another building on the property other than the principal residence. I know this property transfer tax stuff can be complicated and annoying, especially if you're from Alberta, because you don't know of such an animal such as a property transfer tax. What is this thing? However, it is what it is in BC, and at least if you're a first-time home buyer or you're buying a newly built home, at least it's a little bit of a break for you. I hope that explains things properly or in a little bit more depth than what you knew before. For more info on the property transfer tax, I have the links below. Also, watch our video about all the fun taxes when buying in BC. It's called Buying, Owning, or Selling a House in the Okanagan. Watch that one next.